Let's see. Yeah, so we had 2 people teleport, myself and our Anivia, who just, so we could just hop around. And so, getting into team fights wasn't that bad, because we could usually get there. Problem is, honestly, our fiddle just played really terribly, so, like, we would try to go to help him and then realize that we shouldn't really be trying to help someone who, honestly, was just getting us killed. And that's sort of the key problem with when you play games like this, is you have to be sure when you're going into a team fight or any kind of situation that you're already behind on, that you can even make any kind of headway. Let's see. So here they ping out Dragon. This is a fun moment. So I get my ult. I see that they're converging bottom. I figure if everyone's going to go to bottom, it seems best to try and engage them there. So it's 4 going to bottom. You have Senjao kind of pushing top here. I know that I have teleport, so I decide it's probably best to hold on to it, especially because it didn't look like the fight was even getting to the point where it was going to be a real fight that early. So here's where things get really stupid. You have Fiddle's just ulting into a minion wave, doing like no damage. We catch the Jax, immediately throw damage on him. I have no way to stop the. No, there it is. So we get 4 of 5, and I realize that Sinjao's pushing, so I port to Sinjao, taunt him, throw a little bit of damage. You know, not really enough to justify him walking away, but I guess he figured he didn't want to keep eating, you know, turret damage. But honestly, considering my item setup, he probably should have kept hitting me. Or kept hitting the turret, but, you know, I guess you better safe than sorry. So, here you see them taking bottom on our team. Just overall, anytime we get kills, we can make good pushes. Let's see. And so I guess one of the key things that I would mention when you play characters like, let's see, who's their tank on their team? Oh yeah, I forgot this. So the one thing that's also interesting about this game is the fact that they don't actually have a tank on the opposing team, and you can kind of see how that affects them. One of the key things in ranked play is you should probably always have a team that's reasonably rounded. You know, you want to definitely have a tank so that you have some way of sort of having a target in fights that can, you know, take a lot of punishment and generally slow the opposition down, whether that's like actually, you know, slowing down with actual slows or just generally putting them in positions that they don't want to be in, and sort of keeping them at bay. So in this game, you know, the fact that he didn't really have a tank meant that as long as, you know, we got into the fight initiated properly, we wouldn't really have any problems. So, let's see. And so one of the things about being a tank as Shen that's kind of funny is, you honestly as a tank don't really need to carry, you shouldn't really need to carry spells like Ignite, and those sorts of spells. What you really should look into carrying is, spells like Exhaust is a nice one, Ghost, Teleport, things like that. Sometimes Fortify is really, really useful. Mostly because they're really good utility spells and can generally help in any situation. Particularly Exhaust, even though it's looked at as more of an offensive ability, it's pretty handy, and I usually carry it on Shen because, well, I have a free slot since I don't have to carry Clarity. And I can do some kind of nice stuff with it. Better than I can usually make more use out of it than I can Fortify. Particularly because as Shen, I'm always going into fights, you know, ulting in and stuff, so having the ability to you know, reduce an opponent's damage, any opponent, as long as that opponent is, you know, their carry or a major damage on their team, you can really sway a battle very nicely. And Exhaust is just generally very good in a fight because it also slows their movement speed down as well and can set up bigger moves. So unfortunately, this fight kind of devolved pretty badly. I ult on the Warwick because I didn't really know what was going on at first. Oh god, that was a really bad ult there. So 2 people get caught. Aneva and I keep pushing. Warwick joins us. You know, Fiddles tosses his silence. I throw a Q out just to kind of net something there. One of the key things that sort of happens is, it's funny. So we mentioned that like our Fiddles is pretty bad. One of the funny things about this particular game is the fact that I think the enemy team knew that Fiddles was pretty bad, but they kind of capitalized him by netting kills on him. But they focused him a bit too much in certain situations and got really, really greedy about netting kills on him. Here's where things got kind of retarded. We're trying to look for the Shen. He's obviously long gone. There's really no reason for him to still be here. I start transitioning up to mid. I know that, you know, I've got 70 or so seconds till my ult comes back, so, you know, I'm sort of in a bad spot. Our Neva has her egg, so, you know, we're in reasonable territory. So, 2 things to note. One, we do so much damage to a single target when we really focus them that it's pretty much over for that target. And Shen in this was involved in very few fights, and it put their team at a severe disadvantage because Shen is a major disabler, and I'm pretty sure they team picked based on the fact that he is a serious disabler. But the thing is, Shen was free this week, and one of the key things to note about any time a particular champ is free, particularly a champ that's very strong in general, when that champ is free, a lot of times people who aren't necessarily as good with him will play him. So here's where things got kind of funny. So you see Fiddles is sort of a bit too far forward a couple of times here. Soraka moves up a little too much, but she catches a Starfall. Fiddles is a little bit, let's see, I'm pretty sure this is the part where things kind of devolve because he stays way too forward when we all step back. Yeah, this is the point. So Fiddles gets caught in that. He's about to die. We don't really save him here, but I try to keep as many people in the ult as possible. I'm still up. I think at some point I realized that we can just jump them. Yeah, this is when I realized that they probably are low enough that we can jump them. I wait for the wave to come up. We start moving. And here it is. I'm pretty sure it's about to happen. Caught him. Shen jumps me, which is kind of funny. And so he stays in that. He gets nailed. I'm taking turret shots from the turret. I pop my W. And also, I start moving towards the Soraka to get a heal, and then that's game. Victory. Yeah, it was I don't know, it was a bit anticlimactic, to be honest, because, well, you know, we just kind of won that with a simple push there, but I guess they assumed that there was really no way they could come back from it. But yeah, overall, not the greatest game, but it definitely showcases why you do need tanks, because without a tank on their team, they kind of got screwed in terms of the pushes. They just didn't have anyone who could hold defensively against someone who's using a nice sustained push.